Right. Okay. Good morning, Miss. Good morning, friend. Uh, Today we will present our theme about fossil fuel and its effect to the nature. Our member group is Mikael Putra Perdana Wibowo or Dana, Jeremy Prasentianto or Jeremy, and Alusudirawan or Teddy. Okay, next. Definition of fossils and fossil fuels. Fossils are the remains or trace of living things turned into rocks or minerals. In order to become fossilized, this animal or plant remains must be immediately covered with sediment. The most common fossils are skeletal remains such as shell and bones. Fossil fuels or mineral fuels are natural resources that contain hydrocarbons such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Fossil fuels are formed due to a natural process of decay of organisms that died hundreds of millions of years ago. Dinosaurs, trees, and almost all living things that died were deposited on the ground and now have become petroleum, natural gas, or coal. Next, types of fossil fuels. Coal, mass and fuels 1 per 3 of the world's power. Large consumers are China, India, and USA. Crude oil, pumped up through the earth and spilled through refining to produce different oils we use for fuel, like gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and the other. Natural gas. This is mainly methane that found near oil deposits and caused the development the controversial fracking process. Next. Advantage.
Okay.
Cheap. Fossil fuels are relatively cheap. It's relatively easy to find and produce these fuels, and there was a huge supply. Plus, science fossil fuels have fueled our world to 215 years. There is infrastructure in place to distribute it cheaply. That is now changing. Deeper wells and mines in the more hostile environments equals more expensive energy, not to mention an even higher cost to the environment.
Okay, next. And then reliability. Uh, Oil, natural gas, and coal are really reliable sources of energy because they are abundant and easily available. Fossil fuels can be found in almost every country and will not be depleted anytime soon. Next. And this is a disadvantage from using fossil fuels. The first is global warming. Global warming occurs when carbon dioxide accumulates in the atmosphere. Carbon monoxide is produced by the combustion of fossil fuels and converts into carbon dioxide. As a result, the surface temperature of the Earth is increased drastically. The increase is enough to distress the ecological system. Implications include severe weather, drought, floods, drastic temperature change, and heat waves, and more severe wildfires. food and water supplies are threatened. Tropical regions will expand, allowing disease-carrying insects to expand their range. Next slide. And then exploding refineries and oil rigs. Both oil and gas are volatile and flammable, and the instance of refineries and oil rigs exploding or occasions where fire breaks out are numerous. It is not just the damage caused or the risk to the lives of employees and firefighters, but also the danger of the noxious gases that are liable to be released. And the next slide. And then acid rain. Acid rain is caused by chemical reaction that begins when compound like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen are released into the air. Power plants release the majority of sulfur dioxide and much of the nitrogen oxides when they burn fossil fuels, such as coal, to produce electricity. Thank you.
Now, is it safe if we still use fossil fuels in this current age? Fossil fuels generate CO2, or we also call it carbon dioxide, and several toxic gases. When it released to the air, it may increase the air pollution. So there was a very rapid changes between the early time of finding fossil fuels and current century, like now, when the air pollution is increased every day, every month, and every year. Next, the nature will threatened by the large amount of pollution generated by the usage of fossil fuels. I think not only by using of vehicles, but also the mine, the refinery, and overseas oil refinery that may cause some negative for animals and plants who live not far from that places. Former mines will be unable to reuse if there is no further treatment. These mines may unsuitable for animal and plants to live. So they can live there for longer time, and they need to migrate to the better and newer habitat. Explosion and leakage are vulnerable and may happen anytime. So we have explained it earlier that explosion is something common everywhere, including in oil refinery and some mine that, yeah, where the fossil fuels were saved or on process, I think. Okay. Effects. When fossil fuels are burned, they release, as I said earlier, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, which in turn trap heat in our atmosphere, making them the primary contributors to global warming and climate change. If the fossil fuels are running out, all life aspects around the world will change and make going unstable. So I think before the fossil fuels runs out, we need to try to find some alternative fuels that may replace them. Animals and plants will threaten and may extinct anytime. So if we still use fossil fuels without knowing the environmental effect, it may cause something dangerous to our life and our earth, I think. And now let's move to the solution: green energy and electric cars. So let's take an example from this country, Norway. So Norway sells its oils and gases to other countries and reap the profits in terms of income and put that into a sovereign fund, which in turn becomes a subsidy for electric cars. So they don't burn oil here in Norway and release the carbon into the atmosphere. So it means that Norway will going cleaner than other countries that still use fossil fuels. They throw it burn elsewhere. So Norway will be greener and cleaner. Electric cars are environmentally friendly than current vehicles that still using fossil fuels. Electric cars aren't generate pollution so that the environment will be cleaner. And other countries should follow Norway's steps to minimize the effects of climate change and keep the nature safe. Using water, wind, and solar as the fuel of power plants may decrease the usage of fossil fuels that's still fueling the power plants to generate electricity for everyone around the world, including us. Okay, now let's move to the question. And number one, what does he mean by Norway makes its country green, but it burns fossil fuels somewhere else? So I was stating it earlier that Norway is also one of the countries that produce oil and gases, but they sell it, and from the reaps of the income will be accumulated and it will enter into sovereign wealth fund to subsidize the electric cars, so that Norway is still the cleaner country, although they have gas and oil refinery. So I think what did Norway do is just a one from several ways to uh, keep the nature safe. Next.
And then I will answer a question. Do you think other countries should follow Norway in terms of green energy? In my opinion, other countries can follow Norway's steps because the current Earth's condition is a lot of pollution and global warming. There are many benefits of green energy, such as a cleaner, pollution-free area, no need to treat up fossil fuels. The preservation of animals and plants is guaranteed. Thank you.
Okay, next I want to answer the third question. In your opinion, are electric cars actually more environmentally friendly? In my opinion, an electric car is a car that is very environmental friendly. Why? Can you say an environmental friendly car? Because there are two factors that make electric cars environmentally friendly. That the first, electric car doesn't cause pollution from combustion residual gases. And the second, electric car use environmental friendly fuels and is still widely available in nature. Okay, that's all from our groups. Thank you.